Hi everybody, today we are once again looking at the topic of area. There is already a video on the channel which looks at how we find area for rectangles and compound shapes. Now we're going to take it a step further and have a look at how we use those skills to solve a couple of typical exam style questions. Let's go. So let's have a look at a typical question. Here, Dan wants to put some tiles down on his kitchen floor. The floor is 6 meters long and 4 meters wide. He has some square tiles which measure 50 centimeters on each side. And the question's asking us how many tiles will he need. So this is mainly about area, but there are one or two other skills that we need in order to be able to solve this. How would we approach it? Well, I always think a picture is a good thing, so I am just going to put on here the kitchen floor and the tiles. Now, we are told that the kitchen floor is 6 meters long and it is 4 meters wide. We also know that the tile is 50 centimeters on each side. Now that gives us our first challenge because we have been given the 2 dimensions, but one we've been given meters and the other one we've been given centimeters, which makes our job more difficult. So the first thing we need to do is to convert either the meters into centimeters or the centimeters into meters. So the first thing we need to know is that 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. It doesn't matter which way you do it. You can either convert the meters or convert the centimeters. The sum will work out the same. I'm going to convert the centimeters into meters. So what I need to do is 50 divided by 100. And with that, we get 0.5 meters. 50 centimeters is a half of a meter. Now, let's have a look at actually working out the area. Well, this one is 4 times 6. 4 times 6 is 24 meters squared. I will say at this point, if you are not familiar with working out the area of a rectangle, maybe you should go back to my channel and have a look at the video on area first. But to continue, 4 times 6 is 24, so we have 24 square meters. Now with the tiles, they are square. Each side is 0.5 meters. So we have to multiply 0.5 times 0.5. And if we do that, we will get 0.25 meters squared. We now have the area of the floor and the area of one tile. So to find out how many tiles fit on the floor, we simply take the 24, the size of the floor, and we divide it by 0.25. And if we do that with a calculator, the answer we get is 96. We need 96 tiles. Now, let me go back to the page as it was before we worked it out, because I have seen students go about this a slightly different way, and I have to confess I do like this method. So let me try doing something slightly different. Instead of converting the 50 centimeters into meters and calling them 0.5 as we've just done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert 6 meters. I am going to times it by 100, and that way I get 600 centimeters. Similarly, 4 meters, times it by 100, I get 400 centimeters. Now, if you can picture this tile being placed onto the floor, you will see that each tile will measure 50 centimeters across and also 50 centimeters down. So you can ask yourself how many 50 centimeters will go along this edge here. So the sum would be, it's 600 centimeters and you are dividing it by 50. Therefore, you would be able to fit 12 tiles across there. Similarly, Going down this edge, we now know that it is 400 centimetres. We are going to put in tiles of 50 centimetres. So if we work out how many tiles go into that side, we would actually be able to get 8 tiles down there. So if we have 8 rows of tiles and each row has 12 tiles, you end up with 8 times 12, which equals 96 tiles. Another way of doing it, and perfectly acceptable. So let's have a look at another question, and this is really typical at level 1 functional skills. Suki is going to paint 2 walls in her house. Both walls are 3 meters high. One wall is 5 meters wide and the other is 4 meters wide. Suki can buy tins of paint which cover 12 meters squared each. How many tins will she need? Well, again, you certainly don't have to draw pictures, but I have once again recreated these walls just for ease and to help visualize. So we know they are both 3 meters high. We also know that one of them is 4 meters wide and the other 5 meters. We therefore need to look at the total area. So 2 straightforward sums, 3 times 4 equals 12 and 3 times 5 equals 15, and they are both meters squared. To get the total area that Suki is going to paint, we simply add 12 plus 15 and we are looking at 27 square meters. Now the second part of the question says Suki can buy tins of paint which cover 12 meters squared each. So we need to know how many tins she will need. Well, if I get my area of the 2 walls added together, 27 square meters, and divide that by the number of square meters each tin will cover, we get 2.25 tins. Now, we have to be practical in a question like this. It is not possible to buy 2.25 tins. If she only buys 2, then she won't have enough paint. Therefore, she's going to have to buy 3 tins and have some paint left over. And there we go, that's how we combine area with other skills in order to solve problems. If you're not totally confident about finding the area of a compound shape or a rectangle, do have a look at this video and that will tell you more. Thank you.